Hello, 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 my friends! Woo, woo, woo! Hello, hello, hello! Welcome, 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 my friends! How are you doing tonight? It's such a pleasure to be here tonight, live streaming all the way from the comfort of my home to the comfort of your home. Woo, baby! You gotta love technology. You gotta leverage what you got out there, right? Welcome, my friends. How are you doing today? My name is Jesus DJ Perez. If this is your very first time watching one of my videos, allow me to introduce myself. I'm a global preacher. I've been live streaming for, gosh, I don't know, since Facebook Live became a thing. And then I started to grow my audience back on Facebook. But then, after Facebook decided to be weird, I decided to cut them off, plain and simple, right? I decided to no longer play with them, and I started migrating my audience to YouTube a few years ago, well, probably about 3 years ago, and on and off, I was kind of hesitating about making the switch, and eventually I finally made the switch. And my friends, I know that today, for some of you who are watching me on TikTok, this would be my very first live stream on TikTok, but do not be confused because this is not my first live stream ever. Like I said, I've been live streaming for many, many years. But sometimes you have to wait to meet certain requirements to actually be eligible. And my friends, it's such a pleasure again, like I said, to be here. So I want to acknowledge you. I want to welcome you. And wherever you may be watching from today, whether you're watching us from Philippines, whether you're watching us from Australia, New Zealand, Malaysia perhaps, whether you're watching us from Europe, Africa, North America, South America, Canada, woo, woo, Mexico, yeah. I love to welcome each and every one of you. You see, I have an audience of followers all across the world that have been growing through the years on the Facebook community, and I know that many of you that are watching today right here on YouTube or on TikTok perhaps also are followers on Facebook. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I want to thank you and acknowledge you for being here tonight. And my friends, like I said, if this is your first time watching me, well, let me tell you something that you need to know about myself. I am a storyteller. I love teaching through stories, and for me, it's a pleasure to really stand in front of the camera and just be able to share a word of empowerment, a word of inspiration where, while many other places may be talking about toxic energy, negativity, bad news, and all of that stuff, I don't. I prefer to empower my communities through messages, through stories, through teachings. And as I am a storyteller, I teach through my stories, right? Ooh. So I hope you're ready for it, because tonight, my friends, I have a beautiful message that I want to share with you. A story per se. A story that happened to me back in 2004, sorry, gosh, about 21 years ago. I had the pleasure to be working for this beautiful company. And I say beautiful because, honestly, they were a great company to work for. And when I was working for this company, there was a time and there was a season where they were doing kind of like a Employee of the Month awards. And then every month, there were 2 Employee of the Months, one for front of the house and one for back of the house. And to give you an idea, I used to work in a hotel. See, my first job for the first almost 20 years was working in the hospitality industry, right? And the second job, which we're not going to talk about right now because it's not relevant, but the very first job that I had was in the restaurant industry, and I did that for about 20 years. So before I keep on going with the story, I want to let you know that I love engagement. So drop your comments in the section below. Add your comments in the section below. I love to know where you're watching from, first and foremost, right? I'm very passionate about engaging with my followers, with my community, whether it is during the live or whether it is during the replay, right? So drop your comments below and let me know where you're watching from, right? And if you have been working in the restaurant industry before, or if you ever work in the restaurant industry, give me a thumbs up as well, right? Because you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say front of the house or back of the house. Well, my friends, at that time, I was nominated to be the Employee of the Month, and sure enough, I became the Employee of the Month. But here's the crazy thing. When that happened, I wasn't even working at that time. I was away on a family trip, visiting my family in Mexico. I'm from Mexico, by the way. And while I was away visiting my family in Mexico, they hosted this ceremony for the month of January of 2004, and apparently I won. So I came back from my trip, I don't know, a few weeks later, and they say, "Oh, by the way, you are the Employee of the Month for the month of January." I was like, "Oh, cool, awesome." You know, I didn't know that, but sure, whatever, right? Awesome. And shortly after that, time goes by, and fast forward to the following year where we had the Christmas staff party. And well, by then now you have 24 different employees of the month, 2 per month kind of idea, right? And they hosted a beautiful banquet where at the end of the banquet, they were gonna draw a trip for 2 with all expenses paid to beautiful Malaysia for about 10 days, right? And I remember, and here are so many teachings, so many lessons I learned that you can possibly learn from here as well. One of the lessons that I want to share with you here is, when we were sitting at the table waiting for the draw to happen, and they were calling people's name to come to the stage. And then at that point, they were going to draw the name, and then the lucky winner was going to go to Malaysia. Okay, so I remember when they were about to call my name, I went around the table and I told everybody as I was about to get up, I said, "All right, my friends, I'm going to go collect my trip to Malaysia, and when I come back, I'll bring you guys all a souvenir." And they all laugh. They say, "Yeah, whatever, man. Yeah, whatever. Sure, you're gonna win, whatever." I mean, the chances of me winning that trip were pretty strong. I mean, there were only 24 of us, and one trip, so I don't know. It was pretty good, right? So what happens is that I go to the draw and to go to the stage, and everybody's just waiting anxiously, and like, okay, what's gonna happen here? Who's gonna win this, right? And well, guess what, my friends? Ooh. I ended up winning the trip, my friends. Sure enough, I won that trip to go to Malaysia, and my beautiful bride, Elisa Perez, which you see in the picture, the 2 tiny little one of us there, we went to Malaysia, and because when I was working for this company, they would give us so many benefits in other hotels around the world. And so instead of just going for 10 days, we ended up going for 3 weeks, and we extended our stay. Of course, the company only paid for 10 days, but we paid for the difference, and we had such an amazing time visiting multiple places around Malaysia. We went to 3 different cities. We went to Kota Kinabalu, and then we jumped into Kuching, and then at the end we ended up in Malaysia, just like you can see for the picture here. And while we were in Malaysia, in one of the tours, we went to this elephant sanctuary that was just beautiful to see, and to really blend with the elephants, and to spend some quality time with the elephants. And we got an opportunity to bathe with them and to feed them. And it was just one of those experiences that you can never, ever forget. You know what I mean? Unforgettable experience. But tonight's story is not just about my trip to Malaysia, but rather something else that happened while we were in Malaysia. Another one of all those tours, perhaps. And that's where I tie my message and my teaching for tonight. One of the other tours we went to this factory where they were making vessels. And as you can see for the picture right here, they were making vessels out of clay, and they were making all kinds of different designs and everything. And it was super cool to see what they were doing and how easy they were making these. It looks so simple, so easy by the vessel, the potter there that was making them, right? And he would just go on, and poof, another one, and another one, and another one. And as you can see by this other picture here that I just showed you, he made all of those in matter of, I don't know, 10 minutes while we were there, right? He would just go boop, 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 boom, right there, boop, 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 boom, right there, and another one, right? So when I tried to make my own, well, I was like, all right, I got this. I see what he's doing. He's squishing his hands in, and he's just making it, right? And for the most part, I almost got that one done. But then the moment I shifted just a little bit, poof, it got destroyed. And well, you can see in the bottom left-hand side of the picture, I suppose there is a bunch of them that were damaged, and they were not actually anything, right? Unlike this guy, he had so many going on for himself, and obviously he was a master of making these. And my friends, just like the Word of God says on the book of Isaiah, chapter 64, verse 8, this is what the Word of God says. But now, O Lord, you are our Father. You are the clay, and you our potter, and all we are the work of your hands. All we are the work of your hands. Our Father is the potter, and we are like the clay. So God uses us just like that, like clay, to shape our life, to shape each and every one of our hearts, or mind, or soul, and everything, right? And but he's the master. He's the real master, right? He's the real master, where he has full control of everything that is happening. But yet, a lot of the time we get annoyed, we get impatient, we get upset, we get fussy even, and we whine and complain about why things are happening. So what I like to do personally is I like to take a step back and reflect. Reflect on what is happening around me. Why is that happening? And then just pray and say, God, I don't understand why this is happening, but I know if I'm going through a struggle, if I'm going through a situation that you need me to go through, or that I need to go through, it's for a reason. So whatever it is that you need to shape out of my life, just like the potter was, shaping the excess clay, whatever you need to shape out of my life, just get rid of it. And you see, in 2010, when I hit rock bottom, and if you're watching the replay, by the way, there will be a video right here showing up on YouTube any minute now, where that video where I hit rock bottom talks about how I gave my life to Christ and Jesus got a hold of me back then. Okay, that's my testimony, so take a look at it. Okay, I will make sure that I will include that link on the description below this video right here on YouTube. So for those that missed the pop-up right there, you can find it in the description section below of this video, right? But one of the things I was saying, hello Liz, how are you? Thank you so much for watching. Elisa, my beautiful bride, I love you, thank you. I was wondering if you were gonna jump on tonight, welcome to our live stream, my beautiful Elisa, the dream coach and hypnotherapist. I love you. And just like I was saying, in 2010, when Jesus got a hold of me, I was wondering, and I was praying to God. I was like, God, what is it that you want to shape off my life? What is it that you want to remove out of my life? What is it that I need to change? And what is it that you wish for me to change? Because obviously I cannot change alone. I need some help. I need your guidance. I need your love. I need your grace. And I need you to guide me so I can actually shape that out of my life. You see, my friends, like I mentioned just earlier, right? I used to work in the restaurant industry for many, many years. And so I won this trip, all expenses paid to Malaysia. I won this beautiful trip to Malaysia with all expenses paid. And that was just the beginning of my ego boosting career. Ooh. What do I mean by my ego boosting career? Well, let me tell you what I mean by that. That one trip that I won, well, that was not just the one only trip I won. As time went by and I continued working in the restaurant industry at other venues, I won other prizes. I won many other things, not just Employee of the Month, but I was frequently acknowledged by my bosses at the time. And to the point that one time I won another contest and they flew me on a private jet to a winery in British Columbia, Canada. And oh my God, that thing was extremely extraordinary. So that morning I drove to the airport and I parked my car in the private area for the private jets, the private parking lot, okay? And then we jump in the plane and that private jet took us to British Columbia, Canada, to this private winery tour. And the moment I arrived at the airport in British Columbia, the winery owner, the founder, had sent vehicles to pick us up. And I wasn't the only one that was in that plane, by the way. There was about 10 of us, okay? And other sommeliers and whatnot. Because I am a former retired sommelier as well. And when that happened, they took us up to this mountain and we had an opportunity to have a private dining experience with their chef and a wine tour, and it was just unreal, man, okay? And the reason why I'm saying that to you is because all of those gifts, all of those experiences, all of the went up to my head. It, you know, my head just went like this. Wow, big, right? And I was full of pride. I was full of ego. And I was very arrogant, very cocky. I was one of those guys that you know you're working with, but you know he's gonna save your butt if you get in trouble because you know he's really good. But that was not an excuse for me to let it become a very prideful thing for me. And yeah, I was good at the trade, you know, I was very good at what I was doing, but I was not humble at all. I was the opposite of humble. Like I said, I was very arrogant, very cocky, very prideful, because all of that went up to my head. And then people just didn't like that, you know? I don't think nobody likes to work with someone like that. Someone who is full of themselves. And that was me. So when Jesus got a hold of me, I said to God, I said, God, what is it that you want to take away from me? And I knew immediately that the pride, the ego, all of that I just mentioned was the first thing that needed to go. That was the first thing that needed to go. So you know what happened? I put my life on the hands of our Lord, and I said, God, I'm trusting you. I'm trusting you with everything I got. And I want to take a leap of faith. I want to change my life around, but I want you to be the one who changes my life around. I don't want to be just me doing the work. I want you to do the work through me. So use me as a vessel. Use me as a vessel so I can serve you. Not longer allow my pride, my ego, my arrogance to be part of my life. And sure enough, the Lord started working in my life. Started shaping things off, shaping that excess clay out of my life, right? Started to polish my heart, started to polish my mind. And there were so many things that had to happen. Because from working at one of the best restaurants in the city at the time, and making $700 on a weekend, I went to making $0. I went to making by the end of the year, about 6-7 months after I quit that job, I went and I made not even $2,000. Because I was, honestly, guys, I needed to go through that change. I needed to really appreciate what God was telling me. And the pride and the ego and all of that was being fueled by the money I was making. Because I'm a high school dropout, okay? And when you are a high school dropout and you live in North America, well, things are not necessarily as easy as it might be for somebody who may have a PhD or a doctorate or a master's or whatnot, right? But I never gave up. I never allowed that to stop me from serving my purpose. I have never allowed that to stop me from serving my community, from being available to listen to those who need to be heard, to empower those who need to listen to a word of empowerment. And so I made it my mission, my purpose, and my life to commit my word to God. And while that was 15 years ago, it was not always perfect. I did not serve the Lord for the last 15 years every single day like I said I was going to. I failed. Life came in the way and things didn't work out the way I wanted it to be. But I know God never forgot about me. I know God never ditched me. You know what I mean? He was always there. He's always been there because God is the same God from yesterday, the same God of Abraham, the same God of Noah, the same God of Moses, still the same God today. My God, our Heavenly Father, and it's still the same God tomorrow, forever and ever. It's an everlasting God. And as He started to shape my life and take away the unnecessary clay, as I mentioned, right? He's not finished, by the way, because they're, like I'm still a work in progress. In fact, I should have a t-shirt that says, under construction since 1979, right? I'm going to find one of those shirts one day and I'm going to put it on. Under construction, under 1979. Because every day I wake up, God is working through my life. Every day I show up, God is working through me. And you want to know something beautiful? God also is working through you. And even if we don't see His hand at work, even if we don't see Him, He's right there. He's right there. I can tell you so many more stories, but instead of that, my friends, I'm going to invite you to actually, for those who are not haven't joined us on YouTube, I'm going to invite you to scan the QR code above right here and join us. Join my journey on YouTube. And for those of you who are watching me on YouTube and are not yet subscribed, well, hit the subscribe button, my friend, and enable the bell so you don't miss any of the notifications, right? So screenshot this QR code, of course, right? And then scan it. But also, you will have the opportunity to find the link to subscribe on at the bottom of under the description of this channel, right? You will also have the opportunity so you can follow my daily lives, because I am a live streamer. And while I used to live stream different type of content back on Facebook from 2016 till most recently, I have been live streaming and empowering the community every way I can, any shape or form I can, because that is my purpose, that is my mission. To give you a word of empowerment, to give you a word of inspiration. And my friends, I also like to keep things short and sweet. I don't like to keep nagging or keep going or keep, revolving or going around the bush. I like to be short and sweet to the point, so my friends. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here tonight. And again, drop your comments in the section below and tell me, What is the one thing or the many things that God has been working in your life for the last little while? What are some of those things that God has been doing with you lately that you know that God has been there for you? I love you, my friends. Have an amazing, amazing day. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic rest of your day. We'll see you next time.